Welcome back to Ironwood Cancer Insights. My name is Kayla and I'm your host with Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers. And today we're jumping into a crucial topic for cancer care, which is our supportive care services. And today I'm joined by our two incredible social workers, Nicole and Jodi. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely. I think to get started, maybe we should just kind of touch on what social work is. Can you guys maybe explain kind of what you do and what social work overall is?
Sure.
That's a big question because social work, the reason I was drawn to the profession is because there are so many places you can work as a social worker. You can work in a school, you can work in the county system, which I think most people associate social workers with working at the county. You can work obviously in healthcare agencies, which is what we do, and many, many more places. So social work basically is helping people to solve problems, basically. If there's an issue in their life, we empower them to make decisions and take steps to make the changes that they want.
She couldn't have said it better. Superhero problem solver. That's what we are.
Awesome. So it sounds like you guys are crucial when it comes to our patients and helping them through anything that they may need. Can you guys kind of explain, as far as Ironwood goes, what you guys kind of do to help our patients?
Absolutely. Cancer is a very difficult thing. It's very challenging no matter what type of cancer you have, what stage it is. It's emotional, it's scary, and often there's barriers that patients have. Maybe they don't have rides to be able to get to treatment. Maybe they don't have family support to get someone to talk to when they're having those scary moments. And so that's where we come in, is to kind of help reduce those barriers to getting treatment and to getting good care, and also making sure they feel supported along the way. Emotionally, if they're doing well, physically they tend to respond better to the treatments, and so we just want them to feel not alone on this journey.
That's pretty incredible when you think about it and how much you guys are impacting our community.
We try, and it's interesting you say community because part of what we do is we provide classes and groups that's actually open to the whole community. Many of our patients and family members take part in it, but we like to do those things in educating the community as well about how cancer affects us, our body, mind, and spirit. And so, like Nicole said, we're here to support that, and people are so different, have different journeys, and so we really try to tap into what the needs are individually and the community.
Oh, that's incredible. It sounds like you guys do really impactful work.
Thank you. We try.
And being a social worker in a host setting like a healthcare agency sometimes is tricky. So I thank you for helping us explain what we do, because sometimes the people that we work with don't necessarily know exactly what we do. And sometimes it's knowing what we don't do as well, because as I said, social workers, there are traditional places that social workers work with many social workers. Here it's Nicole and I. And so we are in a host setting, so it takes a lot of time to explain to people what we do and what we don't do.
I think that's a very popular question that we get, is from a patient when we call, well, what do you do? And it's like, what don't we do? It's more getting to know them and what do they need, what areas of concerns do they have. And it's important to point out that we work with patients not only at the very beginning when they're first getting diagnosed and adjusting to that diagnosis, but also all the way through survivorship. Because sometimes it's those survivors that's like a year out and they go, oh my God, I had cancer. Oh my gosh, or my elbow hurts. Does that mean I have elbow cancer now? And they start getting that fear, and that's when things pop in. And so we help people all throughout that journey, from very beginning into survivorship, and we work with the families, the caregivers, because we ask a lot of our caregivers to help our patients, and sometimes they need the support too to keep strong and keep going. So it's kind of a big, broad coverage of help and support here.
I think it's really important to know that you also help the caregivers, and not necessarily only the patient, but you can also have that impact on their families and caregivers who are taking care of them.
Yeah, we have some great caregiving groups and resources in the community, and so we'll link people to those. Or sometimes caregiver just needs a listening ear too, and a lot of what we do, I think, at times is, yes, giving resources, but sometimes just being present and holding the space for someone to share really difficult feelings and struggles, because sometimes a caregiver feels a little guilty about that. And so these are stories that we've heard from so many people, and we can kind of support them emotionally in that.
That's awesome. So as far as social work goes and supportive care services, can you guys kind of touch on the difference between the two and how they can help our patients?
Sure, yeah. Supportive care services is our department. It's an umbrella for other professionals that work under it to support people. So we've got our nutritionists, our genetic counselors, Dr. Rula, who's our integrative oncologist, and then we social workers are there to support in those different dimensions. And so what we do is kind of looking at the psychosocial issues as we spoke of before.
Yeah, and it's all those services. The supportive care team is available to all of our patients. So the genetic counselors really work with our patients regarding maybe they have multiple diagnoses, maybe they have family history of diagnosis, so they work with them in screening them to see if they're good candidates to do the genetic testing, and then they look at the results and kind of break down those results and counsel them, because there's some decisions that need to be made with certain results. And our two genetic counselors, Mandy and Morgan, are just phenomenal and cover the whole valley. And then our registered dietitians, Brenda and Lauren, Lauren's in the West Valley and Brenda's in the East Valley. They do a lot of focus with our patients that are going through different types of treatment, like say the pancreas and the stomach. They often have a lot of issues with eating and appetite and weight loss. They work with our head and neck cancer patients because they have feeding tubes and just special needs with the treatment that goes through and the effect it has on the body. And then they work with patients on they're losing too much weight and really need to focus on getting their strength back, getting their weight up to healthy levels. And then even into survivorship, they work with our patients on the things that kind of accumulates during treatment, and maybe they want to work on getting back to a healthy lifestyle. So they talk about supplements and Mediterranean diets and plant-based diets and all the different things that are available to everyone in the community and maybe what's a good fit for them. So, and I think they're fantastic because they really give good advice. They give recipes and samples and different things, and they also speak realistically, like everything in moderation, because we know every once in a while someone's going to have a piece of chocolate and you can't 100% rule that out, but they're really good about saying try this or try that instead. So they're fantastic. And then Dr. Rula, our director of supportive care services, she's a very complimentary part of the team for our oncologists and radiation oncologists, because she looks at that overall wellness and health, looks at sleep, looks at food, nutrition, looks at vitamins that they're taking, looks at the treatment they're getting, and then really kind of focuses on side effects that they might be having because of the cancer or because of the treatment, looking at more natural ways to kind of address those. Or also some of the things that happen, like women sometimes go into menopause early because of medicines they're taking or procedures they've had. And, how do you deal with those hot flashes coming up? I'm 40, I wasn't expecting this maybe for a few more years. And so she's really good at working with them on that. She works on their emotional wellness, so anxiety. She's got a lot of great tips for breathing and different things that she works with them on. So again, it's all that mind-body connection. That's our whole team really focuses on all of that overall wellness and making small changes, so improving so that you get through your treatment and then into survivorship, you have the best chance possible to kind of have a healthier lifestyle.
It sounds like every step of the journey you guys have everyone covered, which is amazing. And sharing that with everybody, I think it can have a lasting impact for anybody who might be struggling or needs any of those services.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't have the answers, because I'm surprised every day, I think, by things that come our way and challenges that people are facing. But fortunately, we live in this valley with a lot of different resources and healthcare agencies. So it's a matter of educating ourselves sometimes. And I'm always calling Nicole to ask her, have you ever had this question? And so we do that for each other, because we don't always have the answer. And sometimes things are so challenging that, at times there's just like I said before, all you can do is be present with someone, because the healthcare system can really make people feel jerked around. But when they come to Ironwood, we want people to feel heard and seen.
I think another unique part of our department is our wellness classes and events that we offer in the community. And last fall we added a new member to our team, Cassandra. She's our coordinator, so she kind of does all of that with our volunteers. So she is in charge of our volunteer program at Ironwood, because we have volunteers working in all of our offices. But she also kind of coordinates all our class schedules and gets people involved in support groups and works with our marketing team to kind of get more people involved, because there really is a benefit to peer support and community connection. And that's what those classes are meant to, is bring people together. And sometimes they don't want to talk about cancer. Sometimes they want to just do a meditation, or they want to do sound healing. Or they want to do art. We've been offering so many things. It's always fun to kind of participate. Even we've covered and participated in some of the classes. I tried Tai Chi. I'm not real good at it, but I tried it. I don't have the balance that maybe I should be in Tai Chi. I don't know. But there's just a variety of things. Tai Chi, Reiki, chair yoga. What else?
I'm participating in the mindful eating class, which has been wonderful and a game changer for me and people participating. Did you mention breathing?
No.
Breath work class.
Mm-hmm.
We just have some very skilled people from the community that we've invited to come. Our sound healing classes have been really popular. And because people can really feel the impact themselves and come back. So we're always looking ways to expand and help people in that way. Because it's really, a person's really affected in their body, mind, and their spirit. So they're so connected. So we're looking for these classes to fill some needs.
Yeah, I think it's been a really kind of beautiful experience to meet some of the instructors too, that, a lot of them are volunteering their time, but otherwise they have a true passion to just help the cancer community. And so it's great. They're not just coming here because they want to do something. They're coming here because they want to support the patients. They want to support the family, the caregivers. We've had patients go, well, can I bring my friend, or can I bring my sister? And we're like, bring anybody you want. It's open to everyone in the community. So I think it's just a kind of an amazing part of our team to have all those events, and we're growing more and more. COVID kind of stopped things for a little bit, but we're coming back strong. Mm-hmm. So, and things are kind of going all over the valley now. We have a couple new classes in Glendale starting soon, so that West Side's going to get some of the good material that's been in Chandler, and so we're very proud of that, happy about that.
It sounds like a great resource for the patients that they can take full advantage of. Especially for people who might not know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're talking about it, because we do get people who will call, or they'll be referred to us by a doctor or a nurse or someone, and they'll say, oh, I wish I would have known about you when I started treatment. And so we're always trying to get the word out in different ways. I know you're working on that too often, but I think people get very overwhelmed, especially if they're going to start a treatment and they have labs and testing and different things that have to be done before treatment. So sometimes we get put on a back shelf. And I understand that, but sometimes we can be very helpful, as Nicole said, on the front side and all through the journey.
Yeah, because we want to be there for those good moments too of connection, but also there's some really challenging things. End of life conversations sometimes have to happen, and we want to be there to kind of guide them through that. Talking to kids about cancer for our parents that have cancer, or even grandparents that just want to make sure their grandkids aren't scared, or how do I tell them this, or how do I give them some resources so that they feel okay. So we have those kind of conversations. We also talk about advanced directives, which is medical power of attorney, living will, kind of that care you want when you're in a difficult situation. And we always encourage, do it now while you can speak to your family, talk to your family, and you're feeling good about it, and you can articulate your wants and your needs if you were ever in a situation, because it's important for everybody. I know I have mine done just because I have an interesting family situation, and I was like, I need to make sure the right people are in charge of me and what I want happens. And so I think we advocate for patients and tell them to advocate for themselves as speaking up. So those are some of the other things that we help with that aren't necessarily the fun community like class events, but also some of those more difficult topics. So we can help with smoking cessation, learning how to quit smoking. That's a topic that comes up a lot, and it's not an easy thing. It's an addiction, and it's not just a bad habit, and so it takes a little bit of support and resources, and we're there for that. I don't know what kind of things do we do. We do everything, but
yeah, that's why I love the job. Is it's very multifaceted. We have a lot of support with each other on our team, and then I've been so happy. I've been here a little over a year, and the staff in general is so supportive of what we do. And even if they're not real clear sometimes what we do and don't do, they're just very grateful when we can pick up those pieces that everyone else is so focused on what they're doing to outsmart cancer and cure cancer, that it's those other pieces that it shouldn't be neglected. And so I feel a lot of appreciation.
Definitely do. I'm on a network group chat with a bunch of other medical social workers, and they're always like, "Your doctors are so nice to you," and I'm like, "Yes, they are."
Yes, they are.
We kind of get held up here, and some other places and hospitals, and it's not always that case, and so we feel special. So when the patients say, "Well, is there a charge to talk to you?" and we're like, "No, your doctors cover everything, so we can just be here to help you. It's never anything you have to worry about coming to see us or getting help from us." So that's another wonderful thing, is that's not always the case. So we're free for patients, so yay.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I know sometimes the question is okay, well, what does supportive care cost? Can I afford it? So I think it's awesome that we offer these services free of charge, just to help our patients. I think that's really incredible, because it allows everybody to feel that impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not mandated by anyone that we are here like it is. Like, I used to work in hospice care, and so you have to have a social worker. And I guess this is what really drew me to this job, because it said a lot about the agency, is that they don't have to have us. They see it as a necessary piece, but legally they don't need to have our services. They just want to. It's really beautiful.
So I know we kind of touched on, for social work and our supportive care services, not having a financial cost to that. But as far as other community factors and a financial burden on our cancer patients, how can we help them with that? Is there anything in the community in place?
Absolutely. Financial toxicity and our ever increasing economy and the cost of groceries and everything.
And housing.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I will say, in 6 years, I've never seen so many individuals beyond the age of 55 saying, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm on a fixed income with Social Security, and they're looking at roommate options. And they're like, I haven't had a roommate in 20, 40 years. And it's like, well, that's kind of one of the options we're giving patients. But I would say help with finances is a huge request of social work. And we do have access to a lot of community resources. We can help with things such as if you're struggling to pay for groceries, we have resources for that. If you're struggling maybe with utility bills or just help with rent, sometimes we can find places that'll help with a month's rent or part of a month's rent. There is some limited financial resources. Unfortunately, a lot kind of went away during COVID, and then they kind of come and go throughout the year depending on grant availability. But we do help with those kind of daily living costs, those needs every day of I need a cell phone, or I need food, or I need electricity. Sometimes we even teach them about things like Good RX for discounts on picking up your prescriptions. The one thing that we really can't cover in social work is the cost of care, your medication, your treatment, your infusions. We don't have access to that kind of stuff. We do have benefit coordinators that are amazing to kind of work with our patients on what's available for that, but we focus more on how do you get through the day and the struggles you have financially, and we can look at budgets and kind of help look at their budget and see if there's changes that can be made. We can give some tips and advice and things, and then again, really just a big connection to community resources.
That's incredible, because having cancer is hard enough.
Yeah.
Without the financial burden. So it's great to know that there are resources out there and that you guys can really help make a difference in that.
It's like Nicole said, there are things out there. We definitely point people into different directions with that. but it is also something that I'm very careful not to overpromise too, because as Nicole said, grants come and go, and I think some people are so shocked when they get this diagnosis, and as you said, they have enough to deal with, and then there's that piece, the concern about the financial piece. And so again, we're just trying to support people as best we can, but I gotta say it's probably the biggest challenge for me is just the lack of resources that I've seen. We have single mothers with 4 children, seniors who are living in their vehicles, and it's sobering and difficult. But that doesn't mean that we don't keep sniffing around for programs and looking for new things, because it has grown since I've started social work. Obviously, the economy is much different than when I started. So
I think that's the hardest part of our job, is when we get faced with something that we can't fix, we can't help with, because there just isn't. And those moments are really hard on us. And I know both of us have called each other and said, is there anything else you can think of? Is there anything else I'm not doing? And I don't like it. I don't like that feeling when I can't fix it, when I can't make it better. And financial resources is sometimes the root cause of that. But we do try, we stay positive, and we are always looking for new things.
So if a patient doesn't necessarily feel ready to meet with you guys, I know you guys have a lot of content on our website. Can you guys touch on those resources available for patients?
Absolutely. We do have a supportive care services newsletter that comes out each month. Anyone can sign up for it. If you just go to the ironwoodcrc.com website, if you go to the very bottom, you can sign up for the newsletter. And so then also, every week, they get a little reminder of things that are coming up this week, events, classes, just different things going on with our team. And then in that newsletter, every member of our team contributes these blogs, just education that we write for patients, for survivors, for loved ones, for the community in general. And that comes from nutrition and social work and Dr. Rula, our genetics counselors. And we try to touch on relevant topics, or maybe there's something special that month that's being celebrated. So every month it's a little bit different content, but then all of those blogs are on our website too. So if you missed the newsletter, or maybe you want to watch some videos, we do have a whole library of educational videos and videos with our providers on our very own YouTube page. So if you go to YouTube and you search Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers, you're going to find our page. You can like and subscribe it. I do. And then all of our video content is there. We have really good videos about sleep hygiene and how you can sleep better. I know Dr. Rula's videos helped me with that. Our social workers have done some videos. Jodi just did one talking about the fear of recurrence and how to manage that. Our dietitians, they're kind of popular with their videos. They do recipes and how to eat through cancer and into survivorship and things that they can do. And again, our providers are on there talking about different subjects. So it's a really good place to kind of go. I've encouraged patients, even in infusion rooms, to check out something. If you're just sitting there and you're bored, put on your headset and kind of watch some videos and learn something. And also, it's good to share. We did a video in the very beginning that was what to expect when you're going to do radiation. And I've had so many patients share that with their loved ones who are worried about, well, what does it mean? What does it look like? Or they're worried about going that first day, and that video lets them look inside the room and see it and hear those commonly asked questions. So I think we've been really good at our content to make sure it's supportive of our community and helpful and educated. And sometimes you don't feel up to talking. You're physically not doing well, or you don't want to meet with us, or you're shy, or there's a distance factor. Some of our patients are not local and they travel. So there's a lot of good content online and for them to view.
Yeah, people are different. They get their information in different ways. They like support in different ways, and we can't assume what works for everyone. So that's why we like to have these different avenues for people to get information and feel supported.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you both for being here today and talking about this topic. I think it will have a lasting impact on our patients and will be a great resource to look back on. If people are interested in meeting with you, is there a way that they can get in contact with you guys?
Yep.
Yes, there's so many ways you can get,
Too many ways.
throw a piece of paper at us and all, you know. So Jodi and I cover different offices and areas, so we're not always in one particular office. Jodi covers all of the East Valley, like Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, and then I am covering right now Scottsdale, kind of west to Surprise and Goodyear. We have a third social worker, Ignacio, but he is currently deployed in the military, and so he hopefully returns this fall, and then he will be covering the west, and then I'll be in the middle, and Jodi's in the east. So you can't find us, but they can ask any member of the Ironwood staff, like, I want to talk to a social worker, can you connect me? Check out, front desk, medical assistants, doctors, everyone can get a hold of us. Plus we do have an email address for social work, so it's socialwork@ironwoodcrc.com, and it goes to our whole team, and then we just kind of figure out who's going to respond and go. If it's for the whole team in general for supportive care, you can email wellness@ironwoodcrc.com, and our coordinator gets those emails and kind of distributes them accordingly. Or we have a phone number for our team, and that's 480-314-6660. And that's kind of a main line. Again, you'll probably just get the voicemail, but then Cassandra directs you to where you need to be, or gets us and says, call this patient, do this, and help them out. So all ways to get a hold of people.
Someone will find us.
Yes, they always do.
We sometimes try to stay elusive, but it never works, so you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for being here. And if anybody wants more information on Jodi or Nicole, or just in Ironwood in general, you can go to ironwoodcrc.com.